Gato Laranjinha was a young orange cat, full of energy and curiosity. He loved school and always dedicated himself to everything he did, despite having something that made him insecure: his tail. Unlike the elegant tails of his classmates, Laranjinha's tail seemed to have a mind of its own. Whenever he got nervous or excited, his tail would start swinging uncontrollably, knocking everything around him over. That day, the school organized a special event, a talent show where everyone could showcase their skills. Laranjinha was excited. He had trained for weeks to balance books on his head while walking in a straight line. It was his chance to shine and show his classmates that he also had something special to offer. On the day of the presentation, Laranjinha put on his best uniform, spent hours mentally rehearsing his steps, and stepped onto the stage with a pile of books carefully balanced on his head. The audience murmured, impressed. He was doing very well, and his confidence grew with every step. But in the middle of the presentation, Rufus, the most mischievous and teasing cat in the class, decided to play a prank. He released a toy mouse right next to Laranjinha. Surprised, the little cat jumped in without meaning to, started swinging his tail frantically. In a matter of seconds, the books fell to the ground with a loud crash, and to make matters worse, his tail hit a microphone, which flew straight into a cream pie positioned at the side of the stage. The pie flew through the air and landed right on the music teacher's face. The auditorium erupted in laughter. "Look at the walking disaster," Rufus shouted, twisting with laughter. "Better call the fire department. His tail is dangerous," teased another classmate, as everyone continued to laugh. Laranjinha stood frozen in the middle of the stage, his face red with embarrassment. His eyes filled with tears, and he ran out of the auditorium, passing through the hallways until he hid behind a tree in the yard. As he cried softly, thinking he would never return to school, Lola, a white cat with gentle eyes, found him. "Hey, Laranjinha, why are you here alone?" she asked. "Because I'm a disaster," he replied, wiping his eyes. "Everyone laughed at me. My tail ruins everything." Lola sat next to him and said with a smile, "You know, everyone has something they find hard to deal with, but your tail can be an advantage if you learn how to use it in a special way. Maybe you just need to find the right way." Inspired by Lola's words, Laranjinha spent the night thinking. The next day, he returned to school determined to turn his shame into something positive. He asked the teacher for permission to organize a fun event in the yard. He wanted to transform his experience into something that would show his classmates that his tail wasn't a problem, but a unique and fun feature. The event, called the Tail-tastic Challenge, was soon announced, and despite some resistance, all the cats were curious. The idea was simple. Everyone would wear fake tails, and the challenge was to navigate through an obstacle course while controlling their tails. The twist was that, just like Laranjinha, everyone would need to use their tails to complete the course. To everyone's surprise, even Rufus agreed to participate. When it was Laranjinha's turn, something amazing happened. Instead of feeling nervous, he embraced his tail. Instead of trying to hide it, he let it swing naturally, and with impressive skill, he completed the obstacle course in record time. The audience cheered, and even Rufus had to admit that Laranjinha had done an amazing job. As the event came to an end, Laranjinha was applauded by everyone. Not only had he shown his talent, but he also demonstrated that the true strength was in being himself. Later that day, Rufus walked over to Laranjinha with a thoughtful expression. "You did a great job, Laranjinha," he said. "Surprisingly, I was wrong about your tail. I think it's actually pretty cool." Laranjinha smiled, happy to finally feel accepted and proud of having shown everyone that the true power lay in embracing who he was.